Hey everyone, it's Stephanie here. I recorded this episode with Rachel last year, 2024, as a Patreon exclusive. So I am pulling it out of the vault and placing it here on the main feed for your listening pleasure. So in 2024, Rachel had So Thirsty coming out, and the Mitski album, The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We, had just come out, just to give you some context for the time. But because of that, we do not talk about Play Nice. So I wanted to take this time up top and tell you why you need to read Play Nice, why you need to put a pre order in, request it at your library. It is one of my favorite books of the year. If you love, haunted house, possession stories, complicated family dynamics, messy protagonists, and a sharp critical look at the is she crazy? Can we trust her angle type narrative. And I know Rachel was especially inspired by the 2000s media portrayal of people like Britney Spears and celebrities and Lindsay Lohan, and kind of the way tabloids and magazines put labels on these women and pit them against each other and set up these narratives for us to ingest and take in. It's fantastic, and you need to read it. But because we don't talk about it, we also don't talk about what Mitski song goes with Play Nice. So I did reach out to Rachel, and she told me that the Mitski song for Play Nice is off of the Mitski album, The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. The song is A Bug Like an Angel. Specifically, I tried to remember the wrath of the devil was also given him by God. I also wanted to note, we do mention it in the episode, but there are a lot of fireworks going off where Rachel is recording. She talks about it in the episode, the why. I don't think it's a huge deal. You do notice them, but I don't think it takes away from your ability to hear what we're saying. They're just kind of little pops in the background. So you'll notice them. They're there. We talk about it. So I hope you enjoy our conversation, our fangirling, of course, but there are also a lot of really good book recommendations, and I don't think you need to be a Mitski fan necessarily to enjoy that. Although we do spend a lot of time talking about why we love Mitski and how maybe she is one of the greatest lyricists of our time. So without further ado, enjoy. Well, welcome to a very special bonus episode of Books in the Freezer. I am joined by author and friend of the show, Rachel Harrison, and we are here to geek out about Mitski and pair up some of her songs with books. So, Rachel, welcome to this bonus episode.
I'm so jazzed. We're both obsessed with Mitski. And so, this is a dream come true to get the opportunity to just fangirl about Mitski and about books. What
Yeah,
could be better than that?
absolutely. This has been in the works for a hot minute, and I have been stewing, thinking about it, marinating.
I started marinating and then forgot about it somehow. I think because we did the other episode and I did
Hmm.
Japanese breakfast.
Yeah.
Um Sorry, they're setting off so many fireworks. Just for anybody listening, it's the Feast of San Cesario in Netcong, New Jersey, where I am today, and they're setting off fireworks since 7 a.m.
Wow.
and it's going to be all day long, which is the perfect day to record a podcast. Anyway,
Yeah, it is
yeah,
fully.
it's every time I'm they're done. It's got a lot to do with the Virgin Mary, but I'll talk about it later. Yes, I as soon as we started, you pitched the idea, I had my notes app open and was working on it, and then we put it aside to do the other episode where we eat. You mean Agatha each picked a band, and so then I was
Yeah.
in Japanese breakfast mode, and then I came back to it and was like, "Who am I gonna do?" And then it was just bah, bah, bah. I just everything came back to me. So I'm really excited.
I have so many questions. First of all, did you know that the Liberty Bell is a replica?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to some Mitski songs, you have to really mix it up. because some Mitski songs are very depressing.
They are, and some of the most depressing ones are paired with like upbeat
Yeah.
beats. Like,
I
it's so funny. Have you ever seen that video? It's like a genius YouTube video, but it's her like explaining the her thoughts behind writing Nobody.
No, I haven't seen this.
And she is just like smiling, singing along, and she's like, I was on vacation and I was like as lonely and depressed as I have ever been. And I was like, I just need to talk to another person, or just this utter feeling of despair. She's saying all this with a smile and then like bopping along, singing Nobody.
I Nobody is such a good song, and I think that's the perfect example of one of her songs where lyrically it's like very grim, but it's maybe her most upbeat song.
My daughter loves that song.
Yeah, if you don't like listen to the lyrics, you're like, wow, this is so fun. Um, but I think we talked about it in our other episode. Like, I love that
Yeah.
dichotomy, and um, it was difficult, I think, to pair her songs with. I mean, we mostly read horror, and so it's kind of like a lot of her songs are like feel very like sad lit girl. So I was like trying to like think of genre books that would pair well with her lyrics instead of just being like Luster by Raven Leilani or like, you know, like another one of the sad lit girl books.
Yeah. I know. Well, there's some of them where I'm like, it's this aspect of the
Yes.
song that we're going with, and like specifically this part of the book, not really the book as a whole, just like
Yeah.
this one little relationship part that I think fits it perfectly.
And
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
And like
A lot of
relying
vibes.
heavily on vibes as always.
Yeah. One thing that she does that I love, I think is just really funny. She just has like sometimes like that one weird lyric, like, did you know the Liberty Bell is a replica
Yeah.
silently housed in its original walls?
Yeah, she's just like she sometimes just pulls things out of left field. But it's always like
Yeah.
scary relatable.
I listened to the new album at the gym, like, when it first came out, and started crying on the treadmill to I Don't Like My Mind. I don't
Oh,
like being alone in a room with all its
with
thoughts
fif-
and opinions of things that
that
I've
I've
done.
done. Well, it's interesting too because I at first I was a little bit jarred by the new album because Laurel Hell was pretty like synth
Yeah.
heavy and like more pop and like just a little bit there was like some bops on Laurel Hell and so I was kind of expecting something a little bit in that vein for um shit what's her new album
The
called
land is
The Land is
inhospitable, and
and so
so
are
are
we.
we.
Yeah, when the title came out I was like ooh what's this gonna be.
I can't what is
um
the acronym for it? TLI.
yeah. um but it's very different. It's a little bit country, it's a little bit
Yeah.
folk, it's and at first I was like, do how do I feel about this? Because I was expecting something different and like now like I listen to that album when I'm traveling to help me fall asleep because
Wow.
it's just like there's something so hypnotic about
Mhm.
it. And like Bug Like an Angel is now one of my favorite Mitski songs.
Yeah.
And just the artistry on that album just feels very surprising. And I just have such respect for any artist who challenges themselves to do something different.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because like um My Love All My what's the name of that song? Is it
Is it My Love All Mine or My Love Is All Mine?
My Love Mine All Mine?
Yeah. Okay.
Um that's her biggest like that was her biggest hit. And it's like that's one of her songs that is just purely beautiful and happy, which is funny that that's her biggest hit because the rest of her discography is like just like sad silent tears falling down your cheeks. um
She'll hit you with these devastating lyrics just out of nowhere or just setting the scene. You're like, oh my God.
and then she'll move on.
Yeah.
And there's something very cathartic about her music. I think it's what I like about art in general. Why
Hmm.
I we all look to art is because to feel less alone in the world. And I
Yeah.
think Mitski just does such a phenomenal job of like, which is something I also admire in Paul Tremblay's work, where he'll just hit you with the most brutal truth of all time, and it's like a kick in the chest, and like you
Yeah.
can't breathe. But it's also so freeing to know that like they zero in on this truth of something that like maybe for me like that I haven't been able to articulate in my life,
Yeah.
like just a feeling, just like this this feeling I can't put words to, that I can't quite quantify, and then they will come in and just articulate it so perfectly. And it's terrifying, and
Hmm.
it's like brutal and difficult, but it's also like, oh, that's what that is, and I'm not alone with it. And
Yeah.
there's something so just so cathartic about that. And that's why, Paul's one of my favorite writers and Mitski's
Hmm.
one of my favorite artists, which I don't have a Paul Tremblay book on this list, but
I,
as like a whole, I feel
yeah.
the same about what
They
they
give,
what they give me. Yeah.
yeah. She does. She does pinpoint and relay those emotions with just like a metaphor. And you're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I
like
feel attacked.
seen. Yeah, attacked and seen.
Seen and attacked. So when did you discover her?
I discovered her when Puberty 2 came out, and like she was getting a lot of attention like on year's best lists. And I remember like the album was like put above Lemonade, and like I was like, who's this? Like, and I was like, this
Oh,
alt rock girly, like sign me up. And I listened to, I think the first song I listened to of hers was Happy. And from there I was like, I need everything. And
yeah.
so I listened to Puberty 2 in its entirety, which is like a perfect album. Um,
Hmm.
and like Your Best American Girl was probably the most popular song of that album.
Yeah.
I love I Bet on Losing Dogs.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs. And then I listened to her entire back catalog. And then ever since, just like any time that she has an album come out, it's like a big life event for me. It's like a big um, I just look forward to it every time, and we'll just sit and listen to the whole thing back to front. Um, and I'm really glad that she continued making music, because uh, for a while she got so popular after Be the Cowboy that she was like, oh, fuck this. But she was contractually obligated to do another album. And she put out Laurel Hell. And Laurel Hell is like her reckoning with whether or not she wants to keep doing it. And then I'm surprised that she put out Inhospitable, because like that came out pretty soon after Laurel Hell. And she
Yeah.
was like, actually, I decided I love doing this and I'm going to keep doing it. Um, and I think that album is just like really a doubling down on like her love of music. And
Yeah.
so how about you? How did you
Yeah.
discover her?
I definitely discovered her post TikTok. A lot of her
Okay.
songs became like trending sounds that people would use. And it was just the lyricism and
Yeah.
the emotion behind things where I was like, I need to find, like, that's what I love about the Taylor Swift songs I like. It's just like emotionally devastating lyrics. And I mean, Mitski is such an artist at that. And then like in her earlier album, pairing them with these like big build ups and like, the screams in the back. Like I'm like, yeah.
She loves a jump scare. I love
She
that about her
does.
music. I love music that does something like listening to a song and being surprised by where it goes. And she
Yeah.
revels in that. I actually saw her live too. I like don't really go to a lot of live shows, which because I have some crowd anxiety, but I miss live music. I need to go back. But I saw her at Brooklyn Steel, and just to like the intimacy of her shows, like I mean,
Yeah.
it's a pretty big venue, but like it was just her and I think like one other person on, maybe two people. Like she
Hmm.
was just like, and she just has this command, and she's so quiet,
Yeah.
and so like she doesn't like the this. the charisma is so quiet, and she just kind of like pulls you in. Um, where it's really interesting because I think a lot of artists lean out
Yeah.
and like she she leans back and then we lean in because we're like
Yeah.
well, like, and I think that's really special. Not a lot of artists can be still on stage and have such a command of every like of an audience.
I really hope I get to see her live someday. She did not come out to Pittsburgh for this tour, and I heard everywhere she was like sold out immediately. Like
It
it's been
Yeah. And I like was on like a backup list and I was like, I'll go to New York, I'll go to the city. Like, but
Mhm.
and I was mad because she did like different arrangements of her songs. And I was like, I'll never get to hear those arrangements if I'm not on the tour. Like,
uh,
please do a live album, Mitski.
please. Well, how would you describe her music to people who are not familiar
I
with
would
her work?
say it varies a lot. Like it's alt rock, like it can oscillate between like Riot Girl and like sound a little bit like 90s alt rock, and then it could also go into like a folk space, like 80s synth pop. Like it's it varies stylistically, but I think lyrically it's all very poetic, um and grim but not bleak, if that makes sense. Yeah. What about you?
Definitely that alt rock. I was listening to Lush on the way here, on the way home from the gym. And I was thinking, like, if there was a modern, like, 10 things I hate about you, like Kat Strafford's, like, indie, angry, indie, what is the way it's described? It's like indie rock, angry girl rock of the indie persuasion or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Someone out there knows exactly how it's worded.
Yeah.
I am getting it mixed up, but I'm like, oh, Mitski would be on that list.
Yes. I think it's
But
it's
not
interesting.
to say it's specifically angry. Like she
Yeah.
is like I'm just thinking there's like a few songs that are like very passionate and have,
Laurel
like a
Hell.
scream and
Laurel Hell is angry, and then some on Bury Me at Makeout Creek are angry.
yeah, oh, Drunk Walk Home, yeah.
Yeah.
Scream.
Um, but I think like there's like she's resigned in a lot of like, which is interesting because Inhospitable, which is like the bleakest title, is like the most hopeful of her albums, but like
It
there's
is.
like a quiet resignation that is like very calming. Um, so it's interesting. But yeah, for angry girls, I think it's like it's like emo, but like in a way that like it's like emo poetry,
Yeah.
emo Sylvia. Like I was an emo kid who like loved Sylvia Plath, and I'm like Mitski's my favorite artist. So
You're like, that
yeah,
tracks.
yeah.
Do you have any favorite songs that we're not mentioning?
I'm trying. I mean, so many of her
Yeah,
songs are
I
my
know.
favorite. Um, I don't know if I've looked at your updated list, so I don't know which ones you're talking about. But um, "Stay Soft" I'm mentioning, which is probably my one of my favorite songs of all time. I think it's a very cathartic song for me. Um, I love "First Love, Late Spring," which is not
Yeah.
going to be mentioned, I'm guessing, because it's a very beautiful romantic song. Um, "I Will," "Carry Me Out," on "Be the Cowboy," uh, "Nobody," "Pink in the Night," "Two Slow Dancers." Ugh, talk about devastating. Um, "Happy," "Fireworks," "Your Best American Girl," "I Bet on Losing Dogs," "Thursday Girl," "A Loving Feeling," "Burning Hell." I mean, basically all of puberty too. "Lush," her first ever album. "Brand New City,"
Mhm.
"Abby." Um, I love "Strawberry Blonde," which is also like a very happy, upbeat song.
Got
Um,
meme-ified on TikTok.
what?
It got
Oh,
memeified
did
on
it?
TikTok to Strawberry Cow. Like,
Oh, no.
I know.
That's kind of depressing. Um,
It was a few years ago, so I think we've moved past it. But
um, Bug Like an Angel is
yeah.
a new favorite. My Love All Mine, obviously. I'm Your Man. I Love Me After You. I mean, basically all of her songs.
Yeah.
Um, what about you? What like I was just like I just listed everyone and I'm like, what are your favorite songs?
Brand New City is definitely up there. I think the first time I heard, but if I gave up on being pretty, I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
know
know how
how
to
to
be
be alive.
alive.
I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah, that's another one where I'm like, I'm physically sick.
From The Land Is Inhospitable, I would say I think The Deal is an underrated favorite
It
of
feels
mine.
very Edgar Allan Poe. Like it feels
Yeah.
very like
Like I
I'm gonna put on my like dark eyeliner and go for a walk at night. Listen to the song.
where it's like, yeah, well, it's very like Faustian bargain, like
Yeah.
I made a deal, like I want someone to take this
Taking this soul.
soul, take this pain from me, and then it's like I took your soul, but now you're just an empty shell.
You'll never
Like
be
that's
free.
you'll never be free. The pain is what helped you make your art and make you who you are. Now you'll never be free.
Woof.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh. I cry at the start of every movie because I
So
wish
I
I
wish
was
I was
making
making things
things
too.
too.
Working for the Knife is another one where it's like I love that music video. I love yeah, that one is definitely like I can't listen to that song if I'm not actively working on a project because I'm just like, oh shit.
Do you have, well, I think you did do your So Thirsty playlist. Is there a Mitski song for
Yes, The Door. I think also like I Love Me After You could be so thirsty, but The Door, um, A Hopeless Violence, I called it I named it Love. I called it Love. Like that's a it's kind of a bleak and moody one. But there's a Mitski song on all of like on every for all of my like I think it's Nobody for Cackle, Stay Soft for Such Sharp Teeth, which I
Yeah,
used
I
it.
do.
It was one of my picks for a different book. Black Sheep was Abby because it's
Mhm.
religious, and then I forget which Mitski song I picked for the return. Let me pull it up. I feel like I have to only limit it to one or like the whole playlist would be what did I pick for the return? Which Mitski song? I bet on Losing Dogs. Typical.
All right. Well, are we ready to do our
Let's
picks?
let's dive in.
All right. Do you want to start or should I?
I guess I'll start because I kind of
I
just
think you have
mentioned
more.
I do. I have
So,
four
mhm.
because I'm impossible. Um, but because Stay Soft is such a favorite of mine, um, I picked it for Such a Pretty Smile by Christy DeMeester. Um, this novel is a dual narrative from the perspective of mother Caroline in 2004 and daughter Lila in 2019. And it's like part coming of age novel, part coming of rage novel. And the timelines are connected not only because it's a mother daughter story, but also because there's a mysterious killer named the Cur who viciously kills girls every 15 years. Um, so both the song and the book are like very angry and they're about rage and how to cope with that rage. And there's a defiance that runs through the song and the book. And I think there's also like something about the beat of the song and the pacing of it and how it escalates, specifically in Mitski's voice and kind of how it intensifies throughout the song. It starts off kind of soft and then by the end she's like yelling. um that fits with the book because I think the book is very quietly dangerous. Like it's like sneaky in its tension and then like you get to a point in the book and your like pulse is pounding and all of a sudden it's like holy shit I can't breathe like what like because the book is very like literary in the strength of its prose so it's kind of like lulls you into this sense of like not quite safety, but then all of a sudden something will be terrifying to like a there's some really scary scenes in that book. The song also alludes to a sexual awakening, which is another theme that runs through Such a Pretty Smile, like womanhood and
Mm-hmm.
our primal urges versus the forces that aim to suppress them. Um, and like I said, like Christie is a poet, like her command of the language is like insane. And like we were saying with Mitski, she's one of the most talented lyricists working today and maybe ever. So it felt like a natural fit. Like if somebody is appreciative of lyricism, I think
Yeah.
they will like both the song and the book. And then for each of my picks, I'm such a nerd. I like picked out some lyrics that I think
Yeah.
stand out in relation to the book and quotes that from the book that fit with the lyrics. So from Stay Soft, it's you stay soft, get beaten, only natural to harden up. You stay soft, get eaten, only natural to harden up. And like obviously like get eaten with like in Such a Pretty Smile, the cur, this like dog like
Yeah.
killer. Um and then Fury, pure and silver, you grip it tight inside like a knife, it glints in your eye. And just the rage in that line, like gripping your anger tight. Um and then from the book, there were too many teeth for her mouth. She looked exciting, dangerous, all the things she'd never been but had always wanted to be. Could close my eyes and still find you, she said, but her voice still wasn't her own. She went down on all fours, and it felt good to move this way, easy and right as she slipped further into the dark. Um, and I thought like slipping further into the dark also fit with the lyric, it's why I've arrived, your sex god, here to take you where you need to go, to where the dark remembers you, which is just such a great lyric
Yeah.
too, because like, I don't know, listening to the song makes me feel powerful. And like it's kind of
Yeah.
the same takeaway I get from the book, like this ownership of our rage and our sexuality and our power and like a toughening up because I'm a sensitive, soft girly made of glass, and like I need to like remind myself like gotta harden up, you gotta thicken your skin. And I think this song helps me feel that way in a way that feels powerful and not coming from a place of like feeling forced to do it, but like
Yeah.
rising to that.
Yeah.
So that is my first pick.
I
What,
love that.
you like it? This
I do.
is a good job.
Okay. I cheated because I did two songs for Natural Beauty by Ling Ling
Ooh,
Fong. I split it between Liquid Smooth and
perfect.
Your Best American Girl.
Perfect, perfect.
So the book Natural Beauty, we are following a narrator who is the daughter of Chinese immigrant parents. She's like a scholarship student and very promising pianist at this conservatory. But her parents get into a, I believe, car accident. They're debilitated. Like she has to drop out of school to like take this job where like then she gets scouted to work at Holistic, which is this very bougie, very exclusive like wellness brand in New York. Everything about it is like specially catered to like each person, and like she's given all this like regimens and free samples and stuff, but it's all like specifically engineered with this like high tech, like all kinds of stuff. Sorry. I don't know that I'm explaining this well.
No, you are.
Yeah, she becomes friends with the niece and the owner of this company. And as you know, like with these types of stories, there are some dark secrets behind like what is really making all these products work. But there's so much in this book, not just about critiques on beauty standards and wellness culture, but also how she is expected as an Asian woman to adhere to these like Eurocentric beauty standards. You know, like the creams they give her end up like lightening her skin and changing her eye shape. Like at one point, one of the owners of the like her boss wants to know if she's going to pick a different name that would be easier for customers to use. And we never know what the narrator's name is. She's an unnamed narrator, but just these like little changes that she's forced to make. So I paired it with Liquid Smooth because it is about this like your youth is like this commodity, but it's also fleeting. And like the narrator's like, capture me, like I'm liquid smooth, come touch me too, and feel my skin is plump and full of life. I'm in my prime. I also just love the sound of liquid smooth. Like it just sounds smooth and like it literally does sound.
Yeah, this like, and how she's like her voice when she sings it, like it's just so like she goes into like her higher register, and it's just
Yeah.
beautiful.
Your Best American Girl as a song is about like being a woman of color and what it's like to date a white man, and like the narrator in the song is saying like, I'd be your little spoon, like, you know, you have so much promise, and like I'm a nobody. I have nothing. And it's really this journey that she goes on. Like the first chorus is like, your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I think I do. And then the second chorus is, your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me. And it's like really building up. And she says, but I do. I finally do. But then it goes back to like a more unsure, I do. I think I do. Kind of showing it's going to be this
Yeah.
constant battle of like your identity and your heritage and your upbringing and your relationship to Eurocentric beauty standards and white supremacy.
I think in the the music video is great because she's like
Yeah.
making out with her hand, and I'm just like, I love that.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's like, and then it's her alone on a stool making out with her hand, and then it's this like white couple. I
Yeah.
feel like there's like some cultural appropriation references, but maybe I'm confusing it with another video. But it's such a good video that I think also captures that
Mhm.
the song so beautifully.
Yeah.
It's a great pick.
Thank you. I really love Natural Beauty. Trying to think when I read it. I think I read it this year. And I mean, I think it's going to be one of my favorites from the year. But I mean, it's just so heartbreaking in so many ways. There's like flashbacks to when she was in conservatory, and she's like little things where she's like embarrassed of her upbringing and like trying to hide it and blend in more with like these kind of like white popular girls, and just like your relationship to that. It's just so much. It's just such a good book. So anyway, that is Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang, and I'm pairing that with Liquid Smooth from Lush and Your Best American Girl from Puberty 2.
Great. Genius. Love it. Yes. Chef's kiss. Um, so I am doing Pearl from Be the Cowboy and The Unsuitable by Molly Pollak. And The Unsuitable is such an underrated book. I want everybody to read it. It came out in April 2020, so it was like prime pandemic, and I think like it just needs a bigger audience because it's so brilliant. It's like the perfect, like the Venn diagram of girls who are like goth but also love Jane Austen. Like that, like, this book is made for them. So it's set in Victorian times, and it's about Iseult Wince, a spinster. And she's like in her 20s, but she's a spinster because it's Victorian times. And her father is trying to marry her off, and she's like a bit awkward, which is mostly because the ghost of her dead mother lives in a scar inside her neck and speaks to her pretty much constantly. So the book is very dark. It includes themes of self-harm and difficult parental relationships, but it's also got a sense of humor about itself and doesn't get so bleak it's unbearable, which we were talking about earlier with Mitski. Like, it's they'll both Mitski and Molly will say the darkest shit imaginable that's like brutally relatable, but then shrug and be like, what am I going to do? Like, it just feels like it has a sense of humor about itself to the point where it's just like, yes, life is dark and hard, but like it is what it is, and like we might as well laugh about it. And I paired this book with this song because they both deal with the concept of holding yourself back from love and happiness, or having this inability to let go or escape something, and sort of being trapped in your own body and in your own mind and with your own demons. Um, and they're also about having this unhealthy relationship with chaos. And they both fucking rock. There's like a catharsis to them. And tonally, they're both like beautiful, but very edgy. And some lyrics and quotes. So from the song, sorry, I don't want your touch. It's not that I don't want you. Sorry, I can't take your touch. It's just that I fell in love with a war. Nobody told me it ended. And it left a pearl in my head, and I roll it around every night just to watch it glow. Every night, baby, that's where I go. And then there's a hole that you fill, you fill, you fill. And I think for Isolde, our protagonist, like she's kind of getting set up, and like her dad's trying to marry her off, and she gets like paired with this guy that like maybe she could love. He's like also a misfit.
Yeah.
And like, but she has her like mother's voice in her head all the time, and like she's just torn between like what everybody else wants of her, and like not being able to like know what's right for her. And some quotes from the book. Was he teasing her, or was he in earnest? She decided that she did not care. She was tired. All this being in the presence of another person was draining. She nodded. She would like some tea. Just this like kind of like, sorry, I don't want your touch. Like I just like this like wanting to be, not knowing how to relate to other people. Fight back just enough to protect yourself, not enough to prolong the battle. She thought maybe he was all right. She didn't find him too bad. She thought he was terribly nice. She disliked him. Perhaps marriage would be wonderful. She wished she could stab him with a scraping fork. like, but I mean, when you are not with me, when you are quiet, when I can't find you inside me, where do you go? Just every night, baby, that's where I go. So there's just like, I think sonically and tonally, they fit really well, but there's some lyrics and quotes where I'm like, oh yeah, like that's the fit, that's the puzzle pieces going together. So that's The Unsuitable by Molly Pollig and Pearl.
I love that. I also love the cover for The Unsuitable, just like a little,
The
the like
scissors.
black
Yeah.
scissors.
It's the perfect cover for the book, and it's just like the vibe. Totally the vibe.
It is. Okay, my second pick is Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman, and I just really wanted to talk about I Bet on Losing Dogs.
Such a good pairing. Two of my favorite artists, favorite people, just the best.
And Ghost Eaters is so emotionally devastating, like being put through the ring, but also paired with some gnarly body horror. I remember there's like a scene very early on in the book, like I think it's like after the first time she tries ghosts, where she's like at work in a
In the
bathroom
bathroom, I
stall.
knew
I
you
was
were going to
like,
bring up the
what?
stall.
I had to put the book down. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes that Clay's ever written. Just
Yeah.
brilliant.
So I Bet on Losing Dogs is about being drawn into these like toxic relationships or situations that like are not going to end well. But you like don't want to admit to yourself that like you get something out of the power dynamics in this situation too. Like I don't know, like it's a very complicated but like fascinating and heartbreaking song. No.
Sorry, do you hear these fucking fireworks? It's 1:44 in the afternoon, and it's been happening since 7
They
a.m.
are
I'm
stoked.
sorry.
No, it's totally fine. And in the book, we are following Erin and her group of friends and her relationship with Silas. And I love the introduction we get to him, like in the opening of the book, that he is like the very fun, like free spirit, like charismatic guy in the group. And then as we like flash forward in the next chapter to present day, that he's had problems and he's an addict. And um there's kind of like Erin is kind of like getting her life together, and like the one time she decides to like, no, I'm gonna go like the tough love route and like not give into this, he dies of an overdose. So she's dealing with a lot of guilt. Like, should I have picked up the phone? Like, would I be in this situation? So when her friend says that he's found this mushroom that will let you like speak to the dead, like she's going to take that chance. Like she's going to take it because she has like unfinished business with Silas. And it is just this like watching her go down in this road and watching like the events of this novel unfold is a lot. Ugh, and there's just like so many things that it touches on, because it's also like she takes this drug and she doesn't just see Silas, she sees like the dead
All of the
everywhere.
dead.
Yeah. And in a I think they're in Richmond, Virginia, and it's like, yeah, that is a state with a lot of history. Not a lot of some of it not great, some of it
Most of
dark.
it not good.
Most of it pretty dark. In the song, I mean, the lyric that always stands out, it's like it's the like, "I always want you when I'm finally fine." Like this idea, like I get my life together and I'm like doing well and I find myself like pulled back into these situations.
And oh my god. And so I think it's like what's so great about that opening scene is that like maybe it's just me, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have such a crush on Silas."
Yeah, no, he is immediately charismatic where you're like, "I fully understand your motivations from here on out because, like, I get it." He is that guy.
like I would absolutely have a crush on him, be obsessed with
Yes.
him, do whatever he wanted. And like, I think I Bet on Losing Dogs is about being like down bad for the wrong guy, which
Mhm.
we've all been there. And like, one of my favorite, like, after I always want you when I'm finally fine, how you'd be over me, looking in my eyes when I come, someone to watch me die. Mitski,
Yeah.
we've all hooked up with a guy who's bad for us. And it's like the the comparison to like coming and dying. It's
Yeah.
like, oh God. Like, and I just like it's the perfect pairing because I think she to be willing to follow your heart down a path that is like leads to death and just like nothing good, just to absolute darkness.
Yeah. So much, but also, like, being drawn to the dynamic where, like, they know that you're the loyal one and you also, like, get off on it, like, "I'm gonna buy my place by the ring." Like, you
Yes.
know that that's what I'm gonna do. That I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna pay and I'm gonna bet on these dogs that are gonna lose.
Yeah. Oof.
So, is it a dog fight or a dog race?
I always thought race
I think I did too. Both are dark.
could be
Yep.
dogfight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just sitting with that one.
It is like one of those just like emotionally devastating songs. It's just tell your baby, like say it to me, tell your baby that I'm your baby. Like I'll be looking in their eyes when they're down.
Ugh. Whew.
So anyway, that is Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman paired with I Bet on Losing Dogs from Puberty 2.
Oof. All right, my next one isn't as emotionally devastating, so hopefully lift ourselves out of this like just staring into the void. Love Me More off Laurel Hell with House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. Um, so House of Hunger is like a dark fantasy novel that tells the story of Marion, a young woman from the slums who is selected to be a blood maiden in the North for noble Countess Lisbeth. And in the world of this novel, nobles drink the blood of others to sustain their health and they like their blood maids get to like live with them and like they lavish them, and so they get like paid very well. Um, and Lisbeth takes a special interest in Marion, who's like one of her several blood maids, and Marion is like swept up in this like hedonistic world, and she like her and Lisbeth like develop this like sensual attraction to each other, and it kind of Marion suspects that there's something dark lurking under the surface, but she's also like kind of starry-eyed from just like getting out of her background and being like living in a castle and having feasts and you know having this attraction to Lisbeth. And in Love Me More, Mitski sings about wanting, and House of Hunger is like all about want. And Marion wants more for herself. She wants a different life. Then she finds it, and she finds this love that's intoxicating, but also just like straight up toxic. And there's a dangerous power dynamic in the novel. And Mitski's lyrics in Love Me More could apply both to Marion and Lisbeth, because there's this desire to be filled by love and to have it magically solve all your problems and heal you, even though I think there's a desperation in the song that makes it evident that the song is self-aware that like love cannot possibly fill you up, like it cannot save you from yourself. And there's also like the literal filling up in the sense that like Marion is sacrificing her blood for Lisbeth to drink. And both, this isn't one that's like a good atmospheric pairing, because both the song and the book are very like lush and magical. Like they're both like dark fairy tales. And some quotes and lyrics from the song. Here's my hand, there's the itch, but I'm not supposed to scratch. I need you to love me more. And she repeats it, love me more, love me more. And how do other people live? I wonder how they keep it up. When today is finally done, there's another day to come, then another day to come, then another day to come back to mine. We'll pretend it ends tomorrow. Just like this, like, how do other people live? And I think Marion is on this journey where she's like, she's grown up very poor and struggling, and now she's like seeing these rich people live in the north, and it's like a totally different world. And then love enough to fill me up, love enough to drown it out, drown it out, drown me out, love enough to clean me up, which fits with trying to find a love to save us and putting all our eggs in the basket of love, only to realize it's not the best basket. The basket has a hole in the bottom. And some quotes from the novel. She doesn't fulfill me the way that you do. None of the others do. I want you near me. I would give you everything, all of me, if you'll only let me have you. I'd want you to say that you belong to me as much as I belong to you. And love is an act of sacrifice. Um, so, yeah, that is House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson and Love Me More off Laurel Hell.
I have not read that yet, but I really loved The Year of Witching.
You'll love House of Hunger. It's very, very good.
I've heard like nothing but good things,
yes.
So I need to.
Her new one too, An Academy for Liars.
Is that a sequel or is that a?
It's separate.
Okay.
It's very good. Her world building and like it's just unreal.
Yeah. Okay. My next pick is Me and My Husband from Be the Cowboy, paired with Annie Bot by Tracy Sierra, which isn't like really a horror novel, but I want to talk about it anyway. So here we are.
I love it. Let's go.
So Annie Bot follows Annie, who is an AI bot, and she was originally like purchased by her like owner partner Doug as like the house cleaning model, and then he like upgraded her to like the romantic partner, the sex bot, girlfriend model. And we are fully like, she is the narrator, first person narration through her POV. And I listened to this as an audiobook. And while it is not horror, there was a lot of like really jarring parts. Um, Doug is like pretty abusive and he like screams at her a lot, which is again like very jarring in an audiobook. And I had to like stop for a minute. I'm like, yikes. Um, but she is like a robot, you know, she runs on this battery and her like programming, everything about her is just about Doug and how he's feeling and like constantly like trying to read him. Like, is he mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Did I not clean this right? Why is he unhappy? What did I do? And it like literally wears down her battery, like all this like rumination. And I'm like, oh, that is such a like visual metaphor of like all of
Mm.
this constant like grinding and like thinking like literally starts like wearing down her battery where she needs to be charged. And I mean, it is about like her like kind of like gaining sentience a little bit and like how she does that and like wants more and like has to question the way she's programmed and stuff. But um me and my husband to me is about like someone whose like whole existence is based around like their relationship to their husband. And especially like I love part where she's like, and I am the idiot with the painted face in the corner taking up space. But when he walks in and the music swells up, it's like, I am loved. I am loved. And then it goes into like the very happy, like you can hear the smile, like me and my husband, we are doing better. It's always been just me and him together. Especially like in the beginning of the novel, though, the like when he walks in, I am loved, like her programming to just be like everything to this man, I thought just fit was like a good fit of
It's
like
a
song to
perfect
book.
fit. It's a perfect fit. And yeah, that song is fucked up.
But again, it's like very happy sounding. Like if you don't like listen to the words.
Yeah. But there's also like a sarcasm about it,
Yeah.
I feel like, that I
Oh,
really like.
definitely. You
Because
can hear it in the like in the chorus.
she doesn't often, like, she's not often sarcastic in her music. And that song stands out for that reason. Like, she's usually just
Mhm.
like resigned. Like, I think of Lonesome Love, where she's like, nobody butters me up like you and nobody fucks me like me. Like she's just like so like brutally honest that like I like that me and my husband, she's kind of like playing this role and being sarcastic, and it's a little bit playful while also being like typically brutal.
So that is Annie Bot by Tracy Sierra and Me and My Husband from Be the Cowboy.
Another great one. All bangers, nothing but
All bangers
bangers.
all the time.
Yeah. Um, so my fourth and final is Bag of Bones off Lush, which is one of my favorite Mitski songs. Mitski songs. um, and Mayfly by CJ Lead. So I also considered Thursday Girl for Mayfly. Lyrically, it fit with the character, but I thought it was maybe like a bit too melancholy. Not that Bag of Bones is like a bop, but like I know CJ is a fellow Mitski fan, so I like knew I had to pick Mayfly and I had to pick a good Mitski song. So um, Mayfly is a young woman living in LA who works at the happiest place on earth as a princess, hiding her inherently dark nature in plain sight. She lives with her ailing grandmother, a former Hollywood actress, um, who's also one of the only people in the world who understands her until she meets Gideon, the like beautiful pro hockey player, older brother of her friend Kate. And Maeve experiences this new and potentially dangerous attraction and sort of awakening. Um, Both the book and the song have this sort of malaise about them, where Maeve doesn't engage with people or life the way a lot of the rest of us do. And I think the same dissociation is present in the song, a sort of like going through the motions and like waiting to feel something. And in the book, Maeve finds Gideon, who makes her feel and is sort of unsure of how to navigate that, simultaneously confronting the decline of her grandmother's health. And Maeve sort of begins to spiral. And I think the lyrics about carrying a bag of bones applies in more ways than one. But it's like, it could be literal, but it's also this burden that Maeve begins to carry and how she's forced into this reckoning. The song is slower and a little morose, and like Maeve Fly is kind of like an edgy, like rock book where like I feel like Brand New City sonically fits with Maeve Fly, but I think there's like an unease and an intensity about Bag of Bones, and also like a strange romance about
Yeah.
it that, and like to me Mayfly is a romantic book, which is like why I need to be in therapy, but like it just like there's something about it that really fits for me on like a guttural emotional level that I think was more important than like the sonic elements in this particular case. Lyrics and quotes, some of my favorite Mitski lyrics are in this song. And after everything's done and I'm all undone, you can hear my high heels walking on, clickety clacking through the night. I'm carrying my bag of bones, which just reminds me of like Maeve being in LA and like being out at her tiki bars. And um, there's a certain romance about Maeve in the city of LA. Um, and I hope you leave right before the sun comes up so I can watch it alone. And I think for like the first part of the book, Maeve is very much like she loves very few people. And like she's also like having this like relationship and like hanging out at the Chateau Marmont with some guy she's not like super into, that she kind of just like wants to fuck off. um, and then perhaps one of my ultimate all-time favorite Mitski lyrics, and I can take a little bit more. Let's shake this poet out of the beast. And that really reminds me of Maeve Fly, because I think there's like this authentic love that Maeve has that surprises her because she has like a wolfish nature. And just the idea of like having a poetic heart underneath a beastly exterior, which I think is something that I can relate to, and I think a lot of us can relate to, like hiding our soft hearts in a hard shell sometimes. And then some quotes from Maeve. But every day in this life, we're all only telling each other and ourselves stories. We may as well make them good. His breath heating my skin, his fingers digging deep into my hair, pulling it tight so that it's painful. Another shiver, a more violent one, rattles through my bones and touches an ancient part of me. Gideon, he understands now, he finally sees. And this is a failing of men, this same violence applied to a woman. She does not ask why it is being inflicted upon her. She only struggles unsuccessfully to free herself and grieves the fact that she has grieved her entire life, one that she understands fundamentally and innately, that violence simply occurs. And there's some lyrics in Bag of Bones where she says, like, move the stuff up off the bed and do what you came here to do. Just open up a window for me. This like resignation of like, just take my body, like I'm going someplace else. Yeah, so that's Bag of Bones off Lush, which Mitski I think recorded when she was like 19 or 20, which
That's
is like
crazy.
insane. And Mayfly by CJ Lead.
That's good. Was that that was her debut album, right? Or was
Yeah,
it
she recorded it while she was in college.
that's insane.
She
Like
went to SUNY Purchase.
some people are disgustingly
I
talented
know.
and it
It's frustrating, isn't it?
I was talking to Jocelyn last night because I told her I finished I was a teenage slasher
Mm,
and the acknowledgments of at the Angel of Indian Lake. He's like, while I was waiting back on edits, I wrote I was a teenage slasher. And I'm like, and it's also like a fantastic book like this. Like,
Yeah,
it was an
unfair.
afterthought. It was an idea
Yeah.
that I had. And I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah. No fair. No fair. Steven.
But I had two like honorable mentions. I did just want to talk about The Deal because I love The Deal from The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. And Sign Here by Claudia Lux is a little more of a lighthearted.
That book has some like
It
darkness.
does,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it is essentially about this like uh department of hell where it's very just like corporate and they're trying to like meet their quota and and we're following Pei and his team who are tasked with like trying to get people to like sign over their souls. And there's a bit more to it than that. There's like another concurrent storyline where like you're following this like family on vacation and he's got like one more like soul to get from this family. Um but yeah, like there was just so many instances of the one of the scenes that like really stood out to me, and it's very much just like setting the scene, is like um this girl who's like waiting for, I think it's like a college acceptance form, and he shows up and essentially like offers the deal to her, and he's like, it'll be like, are you willing to sell your soul for like an acceptance? And she takes the deal, and the acceptance was there anyway.
Uh,
Yeah. It's the build up in The Deal. You're following this narrator who says like, there's a deal you can make on a midnight walk alone. Listen close. And she says like, so I took this walk and I finally said like, I want someone to take the soul. Take the soul from me. Um and she says like, of course no one replied. No one speaks to you in the night. But there was a bird who says, now I'm taken, the night has me. You won't hear me singing, you're a cage without me. Your pain is eased, but you'll never be free. Now I'm taken, the night has me. And then it's this like giant drum built up as she just starts saying, like, there's a deal that I've made. There's a deal that I've made. And it is haunting.
yeah.
This
The
idea.
last few, like the last 30 seconds of that song are just like, ugh.
And then also, I thought Class of 2013 would be good with Mother Thing by Ainsley Hogarth.
Yeah, it's another good one. Two solid honorable mentions.
Just like mommy issues rock, mommy
Yeah.
issues book, mommy issues horror. That's another one where like she's so good at just like scream belting these lyrics.
Yeah, in a way that's like not like, I don't know, I did listen to a lot of screamo as a teenager, but like it doesn't feel purely like anger. It feels just like raw
Hmm.
emotion.
Yeah. But just that the narrator in Class of 2013 is really asking her mom for the bare minimum, like, mom, can I sleep at your house tonight? And then like a little more, is it all right if I stay for a year or two? I'll be quiet. Like I'll leave once I've figured out how to pay for my life too. And like each chorus is, or each, verse is getting like a little louder, a little more intense. Um, then like the loudest one is like, mom, would you wash my back
Yeah.
just this once, and then we can forget.
That's the ultimate, like, I just graduated college song, too.
Hmm. Well, I'll leave what I'm chasing, like this dream, this art, for the other girls to pursue. It's
Oof.
just like,
Yeah, I'm glad that was, I graduated and I was finished with college in fall of like December of 2010. And this song didn't come out till obviously 2013. So I'm glad that song didn't come out when I graduated because it would have absolutely bowled me over.
I think we're the same age because I was college class of 2013.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
So that this song is really just like A dagger straight to the heart.
It's one of those things where I was like, oh, look at that. We're the same. Oh,
Well,
okay.
that's how I feel about Taylor Swift. So I'm like so glad she was born in 89 and not 90 because I'm 89 too.
So those are my two honorable mentions.
We did it.
Woo! Well, do you have any chilling obsessions?
So I don't know if it's super chilling, but like as I mentioned the fireworks earlier, so I'm in Netcong, New Jersey currently, and today is the feast of Saint Cesario, and there's like a big Italian population in Netcong, and for the past like 100 plus years, the second to last Saturday in July, they have this like all day celebration that has something to do with the Virgin Mary. I don't know. I didn't do a ton of research, but like, so like close to my mom's house, there's this little squat building that's called like the Assumption Society. And I found out that it's like a building that could fit maybe 3 people. It's like a tiny brick building that looks like a teeny tiny, like if you put a church in the dryer. Like it's so small. And I found out that there's a giant Virgin Mary statue inside of that building. That's where they keep her all year, and they only bring her out to parade her through the streets today. And if you have a Virgin Mary, and like when I first got here, I was like, I'm definitely back in Jersey, baby, because there's like Virgin Mary statues everywhere. If you have a Virgin Mary statue in your yard, they like I don't know who they is, which maybe is what makes this chilling. They set off fireworks in your front yard if you have a Virgin Mary statue. So like all these fireworks that, please forgive me, that you're hearing while we're recording this are like Virgin Mary fireworks. um and then like tonight they're going to have like a celebration with like food and then like a big fireworks show tonight. So I like did some research on it because I was like, what the fuck is happening? But like he's the patron, like Saint Cesario is the patron saint of the borough, which is just like weird that this borough would have a patron saint. And like Nekong is like a really small town. Um, so it's weird to have like a hometown
Saint.
saint.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though.
Um, so it's just like kind of it's more strange than chilling. Um, but yeah, so there's fireworks going off right now that you can probably hear in the background. Um, but yeah, so today is like the big feast, and like I walked by this house earlier, and there was like all these people in white, like making a pilgrimage to this house, and I'm assuming it's like part of the feast, but like part of me was like, should I go put on some white and just kind of show up and see what's
Just
happening?
act like you're a part of it.
Yeah. But it's just very strange because like starting 7 a.m., I was like woken up by fireworks and I was kind of like drifted back to sleep and kept like waking up. So there's just like fireworks all day today and then like a big show at night to celebrate this saint and the Virgin Mary.
Fun.
So I'm kind of obsessed with that now. I'm like trying to do a little bit more research to figure out what exactly is happening. Um, but I don't know. I think they were like, we're going to set up rides and we're going to set up food vendors. Okay. So I'm Italian and Catholic. Well, I was raised Catholic, and I'm like, what is this? I don't know about this. So maybe I'm definitely a bad Catholic, but maybe I'm also a bad Italian because I like don't quite know what's going on. But that's my obsession of the day on this particular day.
It's a good one for this particular day.
What about you? What's your chilling obsession?
I recently rewatched, just going through Tubi, I did a rewatch of The Bride of Chucky, and it is the best one. in that franchise. I like the Chucky franchise, especially when it makes the turn from like Child's Play into like Chucky, like
Yeah,
Bride of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, which I think is like an improvement in my opinion. But ah, such a fun movie. Jennifer Tilly is
the best.
amazing in it. I mean, not only is she like obviously gorgeous and super hot, like goth baby girl, um, in this, but just everything with the dolls. I forgot that Katherine Heigl was in this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like her and her boyfriend on the run. Um,
So random.
but just like Jennifer Tilly's chemistry with Brad Dourif, like they are just so perfect. I think I am going to be Tiffany Valentine this year for Halloween.
Perfect.
I have a
Perfection.
yeah, I have a leather jacket and combat boots. I really am gonna buy like a blonde wig and a white dress and do like goth makeup.
I love it. I'm a little panicked because I don't have my costume yet. The past 2 years, I was like, I'm going to be Mayfly, I'm
Yeah.
going to be Mercy. And now I'm like, fuck, I don't know. My fall's so crazy, but now I feel like a pressure to keep it going.
To do a literary one.
Yeah, to do like one from a horror book of the
Mm,
year itself.
the year.
But it
Yeah.
needs to be easy because I'm so busy this fall.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'll ruminate. I'll
okay,
think on this.
thank you.
Um well, do you have in this very musical episode a final girl song?
Of course, of course. And it's a Mitski song,
Yeah.
obviously. And it's I Love Me After You, um, which is the best the best like song title for a final girl. I
Yeah.
love me after you. Um, it's also just like a great breakup song, a great like getting over depression, like coming out of a funk song. Um, Stride through the house naked, don't even care that the curtains are open. Let the darkness see me. Streets are mine, the night is mine, all my own. How I love me after you, king of all the land. I'm king of all the land. This is another one that just like swells so beautifully, and it's off the land isn't inhospitable, and so are we. So that is my final girl song. What about you?
Ooh, I was thinking Cop Car.
Yeah, good one. Yes,
Just feel like the energy in Cop Car, I feel is like you're like digging your heels in, like ready to fight. Like I feel like that's the Sonic energy I get from it. This buildup of like I get mean when I'm nervous, like a bad dog, and it starts like swelling. Like I get
perfect.
mean.
That is a great pick. I love that pick.
I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I'm like, no, I need to
I've had to
wait. I need to wait for
save
the
it for the
right
Mitski
episode.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
They said, I guess they used it on that horror movie, The Turning, which I have not watched yet.
I haven't
So
watched that one either.
kind of want to see it to see where it gets dropped in, or if it was just like a trailer song.
Yeah, it
But
could be.
uh, all of TikTok is devastated because they used an Ethel Cain song on the new Colleen Hoover movie trailer. People are like, "What is this?" Like, I'm glad you're getting your bag, but like, it
Ooh,
feels like a
that's
betrayal.
grim. That is very grim.
Yeah, I think it's Strangers. It's like, stop.
No. Ooh, yikes.
Well, So Thirsty. It's coming out this fall. How are you feeling?
Good, nervous, it's a mix. It's a mix. It's always a mix. Excited, terrified,
Comes with the territory, I
yeah.
guess. Every like book release time, because it's one of those things. I guess it's like out of your hands.
Yeah,
And
there's
you're
nothing
like,
I can do about it anymore. So like the only thing I can control is like how I show up, what I wear when I show up, and you know, just keep showing up and hope for the best and be optimistic and
yeah. Well, I will
yeah.
have you know, much like Mitski and my girl Taylor Swift, you did have a few lines in there that felt like a hit
Yeah.
to the hit to the heart. It's like where I said "oof" and I had to put it down.
Yeah. I was probably writing them where I was like, ugh. Or sometimes I just write and then I'll like get when I'm sorry, there's like another like huge it's
They
two
waited until you started
yeah,
talking
they were
too.
like, we're gonna and it's not just like a one off. These people must have like 30,000 Virgin Mary statues in their front yard. Just like the whole nativity. But yeah, usually I like go back and edit. I'm like, what, Rachel? What did you just say? Where did this like? Because I like write in like a fugue state, and then I like come out of it. I'm like, poof.
We love it though.
Oh, I aim to be relatable.
And you are our millennial horror queen.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and talking Mitski and horror.
Anytime, always, forever.